What I'll also tell you is that Agent Mulder has developed a consuming devotion to an unassigned project outside the Bureau mainstream. Are you familiar with the so-called X-Files?
Welcome everybody to the Dark Talk Files, episode 11, Eve. I am your host Dan, and I'm here with my FBI bro, Paul. How's it going, Paul?
Very well, thank you very much. How are you, Dan?
Yeah, good, yeah. What was that Elvis impersonation?
I was just checking we are on episode 11, and I wasn't very... I'm alright, yeah. How are you?
Good, yeah, good. Ready for this one. Ready for Eve.
I watched this last night on the eve of this podcast.
On the eve of recording, very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you remember this one?
Yeah, I do. I didn't with just the title name going into it, but then pretty much as soon as it started, as soon as I saw that little girl, I was like, yeah, I fucking remember this one.
Yeah, it's basically the yeah, I remember. Yeah, it's basically the twins from The Shining.
Just more evidence that twins are creepy as fuck. Sorry to any twin listeners out there.
Yeah, so Eve, let's get into the episode then. Let's get started. So the pre-credits for this episode, we open up in Greenwich, Connecticut, the home of the Mean Street Posse, and this little girl walks to the end of her driveway clutching her teddy bear, looking very scared, and she's approached by a couple of joggers who are like, hey, look, that little girl looks upset. Let's go find her dad. They find her father. They find her father's corpse swinging in a swing, hanging dead. Thought this looked pretty cool, actually. Pretty scary.
Yeah. It was daytime terror. You know, like things that happen in the daytime are always more scary, significantly more scary than at nighttime. And just that girl, just to see her dad like that, must have been awful. It would have been in real life, but we'll find out later why it might not be.
Not for this little girl. Fucking weirdo. Yeah. Speaking of that being scary, there was another moment which we'll get to that actually scared me. I'll tell you about it in a bit when we get to it. But yeah, it's actually a pretty frightening episode for me. What a coward I am.
No, it was quite a horror focused episode, you know, with lots of like horror tropes and scary moments, like shown for being scared. But I mean, I wasn't. Yeah, it was quite a scary one.
Yeah. So at FBI HQ, Mulder and Scully have been assigned this case, and Mulder explains how the man died. His arteries were punctured and he was exsanguinated. Is that the word for it? It was like basically a bloodletting. Like his heart pumped all the blood out of his body, so it was drained. Does it work like that in real life? You know, I mean, I know if you sever an artery, you're fucked. But like 2 little pinpricks.
If in the right place, yeah, maybe. A lot of a couple of ice hockey players have had something similar.
Oh, really?
Not with like pinpricks, but with like a slice across the throat while playing. And
Sub-Zero from The Running Man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember seeing a video of one guy and some, like, I think he was a fan or something, but he was a doctor. He jumped out onto the ice and pinched the artery at the right time. Maybe not the artery. He pinched it and he held it basically all the way to the hospital until they could do it properly. Yeah, he saved his life. But one happened last year, I think it was, year before, and that one wasn't so fortunate. So I don't know if it's the same thing, but I just thought of that then.
God, there's so much out there that can kill you. Like anything could just like end your life.
Yeah.
Mulder and Scully travel to Greenwich and they meet Tina to discover who killed her dad. Tina's mum's already dead, so Tina has to go into care. Tina tells Mulder that she saw red lightning on the day that her dad died, and she saw the men from the clouds come after her dad, which is just music to Mulder's ears. He's like, yeah, well, obviously it was definitely an alien. Of course it was Scully.
He's like, memory loss, red lightning. He's like, fucking hell. Before we go on, though, there's when Mulder and Scully are discussing what they're going to do and what's happened, and Mulder says, Scully, are you familiar with the phenomenon of cattle mutilation? which happens to be my go-to pickup line. And it will definitely single out the right kind of girl for me. When I was single.
Just imagine you in a bar, yeah. Excuse me, ladies, this is from the gentleman up there. And he's also asked us to ask if you are interested in cattle mutilation.
The phenomenon of cattle mutilation.
Yeah, so while they're on this call, Scully gets a call from the office, and there has been another crime at exactly the same time on the other side of the country in San Francisco. And it happened, exactly the same time as the murder of Tina's father. So Mulder and Scully fly out to San Francisco, which must have taken fucking ages to get there. They meet the daughter of the new family, Cindy, and she is an exact double of Tina.
Yeah, they think it's her, don't they?
First they think she caught an earlier flight and got there first.
Yeah, but she was abducted the night before.
They think this is Tina because the previous scene, Tina was abducted. She was placed in social service care, and while she's at the the orphanage, or whatever it is,
orphanage,
she's woken up in the middle of the night by this creepy ass kidnapper trying to break into a room. And this is the bit where I was like actually scared, because I was watching this alone in the house, and I was watching it in basically my like dining room, so I had my back to all the doors and I was watching it in the dark, and I was like, oh no. So I actually stood up, walked backwards so I could see all the exits of the house. I was just watching it from afar, as like, just in case, because it was really actually quite scary. I kept thinking there was going to be like a scary face in that porthole on the door.
Yeah. This is what I knew you were going to mention, because this bit was... It was freaky, because I tend to watch things when I really need to concentrate on my laptop, in bed, all the lights off except the laptop, and then just the laptop as close to my face as possible, and I have no distractions or anything. And like, when I do watch something that's a bit scary, like, I'll just be like that, like peering over the top, and it's pitch black. And I'll just tilt it backwards a little bit so it just lights up the room. I'm like, good. There are no monsters in here. It's okay.
I don't know if I've mentioned on this podcast before, but I was alone in the house one night, and I was downstairs watching Lake Mungo, and there's a couple of very scary parts in that, to the point where I needed to go upstairs for a wee, and I was too scared, so I held it until the film finished.
How old are you?
This was last year. If you can't get scared by a horror film, then what are you even doing with your life?
Well, yeah. Why are you even watching it if they don't give you a bit of fear?
Yeah. So Mulder and Scully, they discover that they ask Cindy's mother about the circumstances of Cindy's birth, but Cindy's mum says, I gave birth to her, she is 100% my daughter, because they think she's like adopted and she's obviously some sort of like twin. Well, she is a twin, as we'll get to. But Cindy is an IVF baby, and Cindy's mother points them in the direction of this clinic. Yeah, so they go visit the clinic, and they discover that from like the head doctor that Dr. Sally Kendrick was the person in charge of this project. She's a brilliant scientist. She's some sort of like biogenetic fertilization expert who was caught tampering with genetic material, experimenting with eugenics, and she's since disappeared once she was fired.
Yeah, and this guy does not like her. He had to fire her. He said she was trouble the moment she walked in, and yeah, I can see why.
Yeah, so Mulder gets a call from he gets a crank call to his room, and then he like ushers Scully out. He's like, come on, Scully, off you go. I've got to get an early night. And she's like, Mulder, you've rushing me out of the room, because Mulder knows he's going to get a call from Deep Throat.
Yeah. He's like, off your pop, and she's like, have you got a girl coming? He's like, what's a girl? Like such a Jerry Seinfeld New York way. It's weird. It's like,
yeah. So Mulder meets up with Deep Throat, explains what's going on. Deep Throat explains the plot to Mulder. Basically, he says this is the lich.
Like, they're walking, and Mulder's just like fucking eating shit out of his pocket, right? And I was like, this is like some Ace Ventura eating seeds kind of shit. I wasn't listening. I was just concentrating. I was like, what's he got there? Like,
well, he always eats sesame seeds, doesn't he?
That's that's what. Yeah, I was like, just stop doing it for a minute so I can concentrate.
Mulder, this is an important meeting with a contact. Stop just Mulder there with a bucket of popcorn. Just like, yeah, go on, tell me more. So Deep Throat explains that this is the Litchfield experiment, which was an attempt from the Americans to beat the Soviets in genetically creating superhumans, basically. So the male I'm going to call them clones, but they're not quite clones, but they are clones of each other, sort of. Technically, they're not clones, but yeah, I'm going to call them clones. So the male clones are called Adams, and the female clones are called Eves. We don't see any Adams in this episode, but Deep Throat does grant them access to this prison where the Eves are being held, and this place is just like something from fucking Hellraiser. It's just such a like archaic looking gothic prison. It's like, what the hell, man? Who would work here?
This place like alone makes me never want to commit a crime ever, just in case I ever get sent to somewhere like that. It reminded me of Shutter Island, like those grim ass, constantly wet metal bar type prisons. It's fucking horrible.
Can you imagine going to prison in like early 1900s or like just like no prisoners' rights? It was just constant brutality every day. So they go to meet a prisoner called Eve 6, who she lives in solitary and lives in the dark all the time. And once they enter the room, they have to use a flashlight and they shine it in her face. And they are surprised to see that Eve 6 is... Eve 6 is who they think is Dr. Sally Kendrick. She's an exact double. And Eve 6 is fucking bonkers. This woman is insane. Great performance from the actress. It's Harriet Sampson Harris.
Do you know her from anything?
I thought I recognised her. I've got her IMDb up now. She is in Romeo and Juliet, Addams Family Values, Memento.
Oh.
Can you tell me who she plays in Memento?
No. I can't think of many women. There's only 2 women in that whole film, isn't there?
She plays, remember Sammy Jenkins?
Sammy Jenkins' real wife.
Yeah.
Yes. Remember Sammy Jenkins. Like, that's the one woman I forgot. So I remembered his wife in the flashbacks, and obviously Trinity.
She's a regular in Frasier, who I can't think of.
Frasier, that's where I knew her from.
I fucking love Frasier, and I can't place her.
You don't love it that much then, do you?
No, I guess
you phony, you big fat phony.
I guess I'm just a poser. Anyway, great performance here. Thought she was great. She's like, one of those like sort of Hannibal Lecter prisoners that just has to be constantly restrained, and she's like, I bet a guard's eyeball is a sign of affection.
Yeah, she's like, undo my chains and I'll talk to you. And they're like, no.
Nah, you're all right, mate. Don't worry.
And then she continues to explain how she bit a guard's eyeball out, which is like, try to imagine how that would actually be done. Because would she have to suck it first, then to get a bite on it, or would she just sort of bite around and hope for the best? I don't know.
I don't want to imagine it, to be honest. So.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, so this is Eve 6. She's one of the final Eves. Eve 7 and Eve 8 escaped this prison and are currently at large. She explains that all the Eves and Adams have extra chromosomes and additional genes, which gives them heightened strength, heightened intelligence, and I think is Mulder's like, and heightened psychosis as well.
Yeah. As Deep Throat, chance would be a fine thing, explained earlier that they are superior soldiers. So not quite super soldiers.
We'll get to fucking super soldiers in the later series.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, so Eve 6 has a picture on a wall of all the girls who are basic clones of Sally Kendrick, and they all look like the Tina and Cindy's. So Tina and Cindy are basically clones as well. So Dr. Sally Kendrick is either Eve 8 or Eve 7. I forget which order it goes in. So Mulder theorizes that Eve 7 and Eve 8 killed the parents simultaneously to get the girls back while they were on opposite ends of the country, so he thinks it's a pair of serial killer clones that are on the run. And he's right in a way, but he's just got the wrong clones. Yeah. So Cindy gets kidnapped in a house while Mulder and Scully are outside on a stakeout, but they can't catch the kidnapper. The kidnapper takes Cindy to a motel and introduces the girls to each other for the first time.
I thought we were going to get some Bullet Club news on this bit. Thought maybe a Mulder pop. Yeah. But no, unfortunately we didn't.
So this Eve that has kidnapped the girls is Eve 7. Okay, we're going to refer to as Eve 7 now for the sake of clarity. So this is Eve 7, who everyone later believes is Dr. Kendrick, but it turns out Dr. Kendrick is actually Eve 8 in a final twist at the end of the episode. I'm just saying that now to make this description easier, because it's just going to be all over the place otherwise. I'm going to get lost. Right, so this is Eve 7. So Eve 7 knows that Tina and Cindy murdered their fathers. So Eve 7 is actually a good guy. Eve 7 has kidnapped the twins to figure out what's going on with them, because the psychosis is manifested earlier in these two, and it's manifested in all the other Eves, but it's never manifested in Eve 7. Eve 7's actually a normal person. She's the only one that isn't mental. Right. God, fucking hell. I'm confused myself. God, sorry, listeners. This is just all over the place. Anyway, it doesn't really matter because Eve 7 dies in the next scene. The girls just poison her and she just dies.
That's the twist, isn't it? That the girls, the young girls, have both murdered their fathers.
So it's because
they say that they're not our real fathers. We weren't born. We were made.
Yeah, we just we were created from nothing, basically. Yeah, which is a pretty fucking mad thing to like think about when you're a kid, you know. Like imagine just like I just appeared on the earth like fucking blown out with or something.
We saw this in Blade Runner, you know. They're not humans, but they are kind of human clones with the extra powers and strength and stuff and shortened lifespan. And look how they reacted, you know. They went rogue. No?
I love that in Blade Runner. They never really say what the difference between a replicant and a human is, apart from they're stronger and they die faster. They never say if they're robots, if they're clones. They never explain any of that. It's fucking dead cool.
Yeah. They do open it up a bit more in 2049 with that they are basically clones, but you can only tell by scanning their retinas. And in the first one, I think it's like they have like a code on one of their bones or something like that.
Yeah, and it's the thingy. What's that test called as well? You see a turtle on its back, you don't help it.
No, you see a tortoise on your back. You know what a turtle is? Same thing.
Oh yeah, the Voight Camp test. That's it. Yeah, Voight Camp test.
Yeah.
Yeah, the girls are poisoned Sally using foxglove, and she tries to shoot them, but she dies before she can. The feds track her down, and the girls do the whole sweetness and light act. They're like, oh, there was another one, she escaped. So the feds think that Eve 8 is on the run as well. Mulder and Scully decide to drive the girls back to social services, so they stop for a bathroom break at this truck stop. I love this truck stop. I love the way it looks.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah. The girls plan to poison Mulder and Scully by putting the foxglove in their sodas, and they do during a brief bathroom break. Mulder goes back in to get his keys, and he notices the green powder on the counter, which is the foxglove poison. So he runs back outside, but he's very unsubtle when he does. He's like, Scully! And he bursts through the door. And her and the girls look at Mulder, they're like, what? And he's like, hello.
Hello, let me get that door for you.
And he just like knocks the soda around. He's like, dunk, elbows it. And she's like, Mulder, what the hell are you doing? And he's like Homer Simpson when he's trying to whisper. He's like, Scully, it's them. The girls are the killers. Yeah, the girls have obviously twigged to this. So they do a runner, and there's a extended chase scene through the truck stop, and Mulder like sort of catches them both. But this trucker couple, like there's a couple of hillbillies there with a shotgun. They're like, get off them girls. He's like, we're police. He's like, yeah, these are FBI's 10 most wanted list, huh? 2 little girls. And then the girls do a runner, and Scully's like, look, here's my badge, you gonk. And the guy's like, oh, sorry, man.
I mean, to be fair, right, if you were in that situation and you had your shotgun and you saw a man like trying to capture 2 kids, you'd probably be like, put the bunny back in the box. You'd probably just be like, get the fuck off those kids, you know?
Yeah, so the girls are almost able to trick Mulder and Scully into chasing after them. So they pretend that they've jumped into this school bus, and Mulder and Scully's car speeds off after the bus, and then the girls emerge from this. Are they hiding under like a tarp? Like a couple of cartoon characters. Yeah. They're like, whoop. And they're like, hey, we tricked them. But then Mulder has pulled a fast one on him, and Mulder like jumps up from behind, and he's like, aha, gets the drop on him, and catches them both. Now, I think this is a bit harsh on these girls, because I know they're like murderers and they're poisoners, but they are like, what, not even 10 years old?
8, I think, are they?
Yeah.
8 years old.
They are placed in the most brutal maximum security prison for adults ever. They're put in the same prison, like next door to Eve 6. It's like, fucking hell, come on. You know, it's fucking like draconian justice, this.
You'd think they would go to like
child psychologist or something.
Like a secure unit for children rather than a Shutter Island-esque fucking Turkish-looking prison surrounded by psychotic adults.
The place from Midnight Express. And they're put in like solitary forever.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
But, to be fair though, like Deep Throat knows about this place, then he definitely knows what they are.
Yeah, exactly,
what they're capable of.
Yeah.
And he's just going to be like, fuck their rights, fuck that they're children.
Yeah.
They're going in this place because they can't be they can't be going around doing this shit all the time.
Yeah, and they're just going to be experimented on by the conspiracy again, aren't they? So
Yeah.
They're placed in the cells next to Eve 6. So these two girls, Cindy and Tina, are now Eve 8. Fucking hell, I get confused again. Eve 9 and Eve 10, respectively. They receive a visitor who is the actual Eve 8. So this is the final clone that is on the loose. And then this clone, Eve 8, is the actual Dr. Sally Kenrick, the one that's responsible for creating the girl. So this is an evil clone. So, and the episode ends there, pretty much, implying that she's going to either free them or continue her work. I don't know.
Yeah, I was wondering how she got the job there, because she looks identical to Eve 6, the patient.
But they do. One of the guards does say earlier on, Eve 6 lives in the dark and she's highly aggressive, and nobody's got a good look at her in all the years that they've worked there, because she's just... I know it's a bit dumb. But...
Mulder and Scully did straight away.
Yeah, but they're not there when Eve... Which Eve's this? Eve 8 turns up again, are they? So...
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
That's the end of the episode. What did you think of that one?
I really liked it, yeah. I think,
yeah, so did I.
Yeah, it was very fun. I love clones and stuff like that. I spent a little bit of my life thinking I was a clone.
Fucking Ben Reilly over
it. Yeah, I did, but I got over it. I got past it, and I love the film Moon. I've always liked Blade Runner and anything that's like clone adjacent and all that. So yeah, it's very much on my street. Yeah, fucking hell, yeah. I've always loved like doppelgangers, as I've said so many times before, and all that kind of stuff is just right up my street. And this is more sci-fi, this episode as well, so it's perfect for me. I thought X-Files have got a really good track record of casting children, because these two young actresses, like, they're probably a bit older than 8, they look at, but like, they're so fucking good as these people.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? They're actually,
yeah, and it's a lot of their acting that took me by surprise was like their non-verbal acting, like the scenes when they're not speaking and they're just like using their faces to express their emotions and that, like, that's what I quite often look out for in films and TV shows and whatever. And they were so good at this. Yeah, absolutely excellent casting. Eve, adult Eve, phenomenal as well. Really well paced. Just fucking great episode, yeah. Like proper tip-top episode.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a solid episode, but it was better than the other solid episodes.
Yeah, it was one of the best so far, I would say. Yeah,
I agree with everything you say, yeah. Paul, have you got any trivia for us?
The rock band Eve 6 took their name from a character in this episode. Big pause, by the way, is because a big advert flashed across the screen and I couldn't see the end of the sentence. Eve 6 says, "I am her and she is me and we are all together," which is a reference to the first line of the song "I Am the Walrus" by the Beatles. I am he, as you are me, and we are all together. The walrus was Paul. No, it wasn't. The walrus was John, who got his teeth knocked out by the real Paul McCartney before he died, and they switched him with the other guy, Billy Shears. Oh, it's all coming round.
Fucking hell, yeah. This goes right to the top.
This is the first episode to mention super soldiers, a recurrent theme in seasons 8 and 9. The characters, I can't remember it that much from that late on.
He's pretty much the bounty hunter, the alien bounty hunter, who is fucking awesome.
Alien bounty hunter.
They turn him into a super soldier. Ugh.
Shao Kahn from not from X-Files now, from Mortal Kombat 2. I read the word X-Files as I had to say that. The characters of Tina and Cindy were named after the wives of Glenn Morgan and James Wong, who rewrote the original script prior to filming. Chris Carter said in the X-Files official Season 1 book and Season 1 DVD extras that Ericta's character name was in honour of Glenn Morgan's first wife. It's not me reading that incorrectly, that's how it's written out. Cindy. But in real life, her mother is also called Cindy. Wow. This episode was originally called The Girls from Greenwich, a reference to a similarly themed book. No. A reference to the similarly themed The Boys from Brazil, 1970. Oh, here's an interesting one for you. This one's an actual interesting fact. Mary Kate Olsen and Ashley Olsen were briefly considered to play the two evil twins. However, stricter US child labour laws precluded the casting of Americans in the role, so they cast the twins from Vancouver, BC, Canada filming area instead.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that's very cool, you know? Yeah. So one last bit of trivia. Deep Throat names for the first time... Oh, God, who the fuck typed this up? I'm going to read it exactly how it's written.
Okay.
Deep Throat names for the first time to the super soldiers, although he refers to them as superior soldiers. The context is very different of the way they are seen in the last seasons, but it is stated that Russians tried to create them. So I'll just decipher that. Deep Throat refers to them as superior soldiers. They're not the same as the super soldiers we see later on, and it started with the Russians trying to do it. That's what I assume that means. So there you go. That is our trivia of the week.
Have you got a spooky story this week?
I do, Daniel. Yes, I do. So I was going to look into like clone stories and stuff like that, but then I thought that's a bit boring because you're going to find so many fake bullshit stories, and it's going to be like, do I believe that? Do I care? So instead, I have a little story about a very probably quite famous documentary that came out about 5 years ago, and I remember watching this when it came out, and I was quite interested in it. So the documentary is called, and let me know if you've heard of it or seen it, Three Identical Strangers. Have you heard of this?
No.
Oh, okay. Right, so you might find this interesting, Dan. So, Three Identical Strangers is a documentary film about a set of identical triplets, Eddie Galland, David Kellman, and Robert Shafran, who were separated at birth and unknowingly reunited at the age of 19. The film explores their story as well as the ethical implications of a secret study they were unknowingly part of as infants. So,
right, okay.
This is a more detailed... This is straight from Google, by the way. Anyone can just type this in and find out. So, reunion and fame. In 1980, Eddie and Robert, who were both students at the same college, discovered each other by chance and were quickly identified as brothers. Their story became a media sensation with appearances on talk shows like Phil Donahue's. And then David, who was the third twin... the third of the triplets, basically came forward because his family were like, and he was like, dude, these dudes look just like you and sound just like you and all this. So he came forward and he was like, I think I'm a third brother. And they were like, fuck, he is. And then these guys ended up becoming semi-celebrities, I think. I mean, it's 80s in America. I wasn't alive or in America.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but from the documentary, they were quite famous and like they were heartthrobs and all this. So towards the end of the documentary, some things start coming out, and it is revealed that they were part of a secret study. So
okay.
The triplets learned that they were part of a long-term study led by Dr. Neubauer that involved separating identical siblings into different adoptive families to study the impact of upbringing on their development. The families were not informed of the study or the existence of the other siblings, so that's just what I've read, and I'll explain it a little bit. So basically, they separated the three baby boys. They sent one to a family that were very wealthy. They sent one to a family that were... like middle class, sort of middle of the line earnings and blah blah blah, middle life. And they sent one of them to a working class family that were probably on like the border of just surviving with their income and all that kind of thing. And they wanted to study how these children would grow up and nature versus nurture kind of thing. So it says here, the triplet story highlights the ongoing debate about the relative influence of genetics and environment on individual development. While the triplets shared some striking similarities, their personalities and life experiences were also shaped by their upbringing. Yeah, and it turned out, I think, that this adoption agency, which was like run by these shady doctors, had basically done loads of this shit, sending different kids to different families. And I know they're not clones, but it sort of lines up a little bit with it. The impact and legacy. The film sparked conversations about the ethics of research involving children, the importance of informed consent, and the lasting impact of childhood experiences. It also underscores the importance of preserving research records and ensuring access to information for those affected by past studies. So one thing to note as well, spoiler, I don't know if you're ever going to watch it, but so one of them kills himself later on in life. They get, after their like sort of area of fame, they end up going somewhat downhill. They fall out, businesses get crumbled and stuff like that. And yeah, it's not a happy ending, and it's a really powerful documentary, to be honest. And it's mad that it's a true story, and it's like something that was happening under everyone's noses, and it's like it's a true conspiracy.
Fucking like so real life is weirder than fiction.
That's what they say, Dan.
That is pretty mad and very unethical, I would say.
Oh, fucking hell, yeah, of course, yeah. And like every single family said, if we'd have known there were 3 of them, we'd have taken all 3 of them. Like every family said that as well.
I bet, yeah.
So apart from just reading out to you what's online there, I'll just say my experience with it. It's like these lads were completely identical. Like you could mix them up completely, you know, because they were that identical. They all sat the same, they walked the same, they smoked the same brand of smokes. They were wrestlers. They had the same voices. That like this was insane. They were like clones. So it's crazy story.
Right. Thank you for that, Paul. And that brings us to the end of the episode. Really,
been a hard one to track, hasn't it? Really, because like 10 fucking Eves and all that shit.
Yeah, and then I didn't get a chance to type up my notes, so they were all over the place. So it's just like, oh god. Usually I might have had a bit more of a narrative structure to this one. So I apologise to the listeners if I was a bit all over the place.
Sorry, listeners. Nah, you were. It was fine. It's fine. Like it's a great episode. It's definitely worth going back and watching it. If anyone's listening to this and they're like, I could do with watching the episode, it's fucking worth it anyway because it's a really good episode.
It's highly recommended by me and Paul
and I.
Right, we'll see you next time for the next episode, which is episode 12, Fire. Yeah. This is I remember this one. This is one of my favourites from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I
did remember it as well, and we'll talk about it soon.
So thank you everybody for listening. This has been the Dark Talk Files. Goodbye and good night.